And the good today is we're going to tell you how our government's going to help businesses survive the COVID-19.
Thank you guys for coming. Thank you so much, Mr. You're looking great. Good to
Oh,
see
thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Well, you look pretty nice yourself.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to just follow your lead, you know.
Well, you're so handsome.
Thank you so much. It's about 12 noon Eastern, about 9 a.m. That's Los Angeles. And guess what in London?
Guess 5 o'clock in London.
5 p.m. So 5 p.m. London. So welcome to our show. So today we're going to be talking about PPP, just like Ms. No said. And let me just explain, because a lot of people, and I know it could be confusing because there's been a lot of new information, you know. The information since this was signed into law, I think it was sometimes in June, there have been a lot of different versions of it. That's the thing. Because they try it one way, it doesn't work. They try a different way, it doesn't work. You know, we try to make it work. I know, actually, I started a petition, sometimes in August, to ask that they forgive $25,000 or less. Mm-hmm. That was my petition at that time, that was submitted to the Congress. So don't be confused. All you need to do is just find out what it is latest. What is the latest? Where are we now? Now, let me give you a little bit of background, especially for those who don't quite understand how it works. The government gets taxes from businesses. So in order for the government to get taxes at all, your business has to be existing, your business has to be making money, your business has to be making profit. So it is out of that profit that the government come in and ask for tax. So if you're not making money or your business is closed, then guess what? The government is not going to be able to ask you for any money or any tax. So what the government is trying to do now is make sure that your business is running. So that's what all this money is about. That's just a summary of everything. So the government is trying to make sure that your business is running, because if your business is running, guess what? You're making money, and then the government can also make money.
Well, actually, what they're trying to do is keep businesses open to keep people employed.
Yeah.
Is the bottom line there, is to keep people employed.
Absolutely. And that's why they call it the paycheck.
Right.
Because you pay, so
right.
It's paycheck protection. So they're protecting your paycheck, protecting the paycheck of your employees and staff, and all of that. So that's how it works. Now, the other thing I want to say is that we are not licensed financial planners. Are you?
Not today.
Okay, not today. Okay. We are not accountants, and actually we are not your accountants. So if you're not sure, I strongly recommend hiring. We give you the general information, but the information that is particular to your own space, to your own financial situation, you know that. So a lot of people trying to shortchange themselves by trying to do it by themselves, that is not a good idea for you to try to do yourself. If you're not sure, hire an accountant. It's not that expensive. And guess what? The cost of hiring an accountant is actually tax deductible.
Yes, that's right. Mm-hmm.
So get somebody who knows how to do it and let them do it for you, and so that you can be on the right side with the law. Now, having said that, the original PPP loan were supposed to be 75% of it goes to your payroll, and 25% of that was to go to your running expenses. That's your business expenses, like
I've got here mortgage, utilities.
Yeah.
Mortgage interest.
Yes.
Or rent.
Yes.
And group health benefits.
Correct. So that is the original plan. So it was 75%.
Now let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Originally they started out was for employers with 500 or less.
Yes.
Is it still that way?
Yes.
Okay.
So 500 or less. I think they're having a different plan for employers with 500 and more. They have another plan for that. But I think for me, because I'm only concerned about small business, look at the sign there. That's what we're concerned about.
Yes.
We are passionate about small business. So we'll try to learn everything about small business. So now the current PPP arrangement, 60% of the loan goes to paying employees and payroll. And then 40% goes to paying all those expenses I just mentioned. So 40% of it go to that. Then initially also you had about 8 weeks to expend your all of your loan. So now they extended it to 24. Talk to me, Ms. No.
Well, what I
Yeah.
picked up, if I'm correct,
Yeah.
your covered period runs from 24 weeks, and that 24 weeks starts the day your loan was funded.
Correct. That's correct. So
And this all is going to end. It says 24 weeks until 12/31/2020.
correct. So that is the period that you have, the so-called covered period, to get the money done. Okay, so now we're not talking about trying to apply now because that's done and gone. So we're talking about now trying to repay the loan back. What do you need to do to repay the loan back? All right. So first thing I saw, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, that the SBA announced that they were going to completely forgive all loans that are $50,000 or less. In fact, it's right here. We're going to load up this form. This is the form 3508S. S as in Sam.
Okay.
Okay. So S as in Sam. So that's the form. So this is the form that you're going to use to fill out a total forgiveness if your loan is $50,000 or less.
Okay, so this is not a form for the loan.
No, this is not for
This
the
is
loan.
for people who already have a loan,
Yes.
and you file this out to get the forgiveness, which
Correct.
means forgiveness you do not pay back any of the loan.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's absolutely correct. So the loan has closed long time. I think loan closed on August 8th. That's when the loan closed.
Right.
The application. So this is now for you to apply for the loan to be forgiven. Okay. Now, what stands though is that whatever the case, whatever is not covered, you only owe 1% interest on whatever is left. So
You mean if you got 50,000 or more?
yeah, let's say for example you got 52,000
So then you pay 1% on $2,000.
on $2,000. Yes. So that's how that works. Okay. So now let's go back to the calculation real quickly. So get the paper here. So the calculation to calculate the loan, the way it was originally done, was calculated. I think we did this before. So let's say, for example, you got a loan for $10,000. So that's a loan that you got from the PPP loan. That's the PPP loan. Okay. So 60% of this, which is $6,000,
Went to payroll.
yes. So that went to payroll. So if out of your 10,000, this was the original plan. If out of your 10,000, right, you can account for 6,000 as your payroll expense, then that qualifies you to use the balance of $4,000
For expenses.
for expenses,
Operating expenses.
operating expenses.
Yeah.
So with this, you get your loan 100% paid for. All right, so let's try another example. If you got $100,000, for the PPP, and you can, because 60% of that is going to be $60,000. So if you can account for payroll for that covered period to equal to $60,000, that qualifies you $40,000 to pay your expenses. And if you can document that, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but then $50,000 is going to have to be paid back with a 1% interest.
No.
You said they only forgive 50,000.
No, don't forget, I'm still looking at the original plan.
Oh, okay.
This is the original plan. So with the original plan, you could still get your loan 100% forgiven. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Even $100,000.
Even $100,000, provided though, you can account for 60% of
$60,000
it
going to
payroll.
payroll.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So they want to be sure
Yeah.
that employees are getting paid.
Correct.
I understand that.
Here's what happens.
Yeah, I
because
know.
they actually had to arrest a few people who
I
got the
know.
loan.
Well, sure.
And
They put it in their pocket.
Yes. See what happened? They got the loan,
Yeah,
and then they went and bought vehicles.
I know.
They went to buy jewelry.
I know.
So that's not what the Paycheck Protection
What's
Loan is for. It's very clear. It says paycheck.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to focus on paying check.
That's
paying
why
employees.
you gotta verify your payroll.
Yeah, you have your payroll. You have the Form 941, Form
Yeah.
940s
Mm-hmm.
to submit.
Yeah.
And then also your paperwork that
Yeah.
you have to submit and all that. So it's very critical. And then some people got the loan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they let their employees go. What's the point? I mean, if you're getting a paycheck to help you keep your employees,
Mm-hmm.
and then you turn around and then you fire all your employees, or you
Mm-hmm.
let the employees go. Now, if the employees said, okay, they want to go because they are not sure
Uh-huh.
they can deal with the virus,
Right.
they don't want to expose themselves, that is a different scenario.
Right.
But to say that you let them go, then that's going to be a problem. They're going to come after you, try to get that money
Yeah.
back. So with the old system or the old rule, 60,000 go to employee and payroll, so 40% goes to your
Operating expense.
operating expenses. Then your entire loan can be forgiven. All right. So this new rule now, as per this form that came out, this actually came out. When did it come out? 10/31. Okay, that's when it expires. So this one just came out. I'm not
Yeah.
sure now.
I
Yeah.
think you have to have this filed
Yes.
by
Okay. By 10/31.
by
Okay.
October 31st,
Okay.
2020,
Okay.
or you miss out on it.
Okay. So with this new form now, if you got $50,000 or less, so right now just assume that money completely forgiven. Now you still have to fill out your forms though. They want to make sure that, because there are still some people who probably will fill this form and didn't pay a dime towards the paycheck. I don't think they're going to like that. So the only reason they ask you to fill out the form is they want to make sure you actually paid your employees, you actually hired somebody, you give somebody a paycheck. And that's what they want this form. Otherwise, they could have just said, don't worry about it. If you got $50,000, don't worry about it. You're free to go. But they still want the form for accountability and also for their records. So I think very soon we're going to start taking calls. It's about, what's time now? It's about 12:12. So we have a few more minutes. So the number to call, the phones are open right now. The numbers to call is 678-708-4567. That is 678-708-4567. If you have any questions, go ahead and call. Now, there's a lady that was talking to me yesterday. She is an independent contractor. So which means she does not have...
She's self-employed.
She's self-employed,
Yeah.
Which, from my own explanation, which means she doesn't have employees. But the really technical legal form for it is that, explanation for that is that you are your first employee.
Well, but the key to all this is having employees.
Yes.
When you're contracted labor, you're not an employee.
Well, under the Paycheck Protection Plan, they made provisions for independent contractor. And under the provision is that they consider you as your first employee. They consider you as an entity. It's a legal entity.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then you as the first employee under the independent contractor plan.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now I'm a real estate agent.
Yes.
I work for myself.
Okay.
I'm a contracted.
Mhm.
I contract to work
Mhm.
with a broker,
Mhm.
not for, but with
Mhm.
a broker. So I'm still a contracted labor, and I'm still responsible for myself and my income.
Correct.
So then, if I lose income, but then I'm not incorporated. I'm not a partnership. I'm not anything like that.
That's correct.
So am I still considered eligible
Here,
for payroll?
here's the difference. If you're
See, I do a
1099,
1099, right?
then you qualify. If you're W-2, you don't.
No, W-2 means you're an employee.
Yes. So W-2, you will not qualify. So as long as you have 1099,
Mm-hmm.
then you qualify for the PPP.
Really?
Yes, and
That's
you can apply on the basis of that, yeah.
Hmm.
Well, there's several people who applied. So she was asking, okay, how does this now work? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So what you do in this situation is that you have to calculate. I know maybe if you have not been doing it previously, this is something you have to do in order for you not to.
Well, you
go
got to
into-
have a 1099 form.
No, that's if you're W-2.
No, a 1099 self-employed.
Oh yes, okay,
I
sorry,
said
yeah.
you've got to have a 1099 form to apply. You can't
Yes.
just say, well, you know,
Yeah, that's
last
true.
year I worked and this
Yeah.
year I didn't, you
Yeah.
know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that you're very right on that. So you definitely need Form 1099 to apply for it in order to
You have to have a
qualify for it.
2020.
For 2020 or 2019?
Well, COVID didn't start till 2020.
Yes, but in order to qualify though, you got to show that you had
Well, if
1099 from 2019.
even though you might not be doing squat in 2020.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, though, that's why you don't need a 1099 immediately.
I know.
You need your 1099 at the end of the year. So you calculate all the income that you had for the year.
Yeah.
So you bring them together at the end of the year,
Yeah.
and then you submit and say, okay, this is what I got. All right. So now to put this on paper, though, so that when you're applying for forgiveness, the first thing you have to do, you have to make a determination of how much you want to pay yourself per month. What would you consider yourself your pay?
On your 1099?
On your 1099, your monthly pay.
Yeah.
And a couple of ways to do that is that you can check online and find out what's the comparable pay for people who do the same thing that you
Well,
do.
most people on 1099s
Yeah.
are required by government to file quarterly taxes.
Yeah.
So you would have by March, when all this started, you would be in April. You would be paying the first quarterly taxes on a 1099 form, and a lot of times you got to estimate income.
I think part of the thing was that they actually, because of the COVID, they actually give a little bit of leeway for those all those payments. I think some of these payments they have to delay the payment. They allow for delay payment. Even actually, the taxes that was usually due on April 15 was delayed until mid of July, I think.
Yeah, but that was for file. That wasn't for
filing. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't estimated taxes like.
No, that's your regular taxes, your regular yearly annual taxes.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So what they did was that a lot of other deadlines like that they had to move to accommodate the fact that we're dealing with the pandemic. Yeah. So 1099, you have to estimate what you get paid every month. Let's say, for example, you're 1099, and let's say last year you made maybe $50,000 last year, right? And if you made $50,000 last year, how much would that be per month? So roughly
Good
about
Lord, I can't divide.
4,000.
I'm used to a calculator.
Yeah, let's say about 4,000 because 4 times 10 would be like 40, and then another 8 would be 48. So about 4,000. So you can say about 4,000. So that's what your income is. So you can't now use that to estimate what your pay this year will be. So if you give yourself $4,000 a month.
Yeah, I got it.
For example, you know, so on your loan, which is $50,000, right?
Right.
So about 60% of that. What was it? Let me get my calculator. What's the 60% of 50,000? So now this is where real math comes
60
in.
would be 30,000, wouldn't it? 60% of what?
50,000, right? Times
Well, 25,000 would be
60%.
half.
30,000. You were right.
Yeah.
So
Oh
30,000.
God, I was right.
Yeah. So 30,000. So for the covered period,
Mhm.
in order for you to get everything to be forgiven, so for the covered period, you have to allocate $30,000 as payroll. And if $30,000 is your payroll, then the remainder of the amount will be
Operating expense.
operating expenses, and then loan will be forgiven.
Right.
So it's the same process, the same calculation. And just to let you know, Pelosi and the Democrats, the Republicans, and the president, they've been trying to come up with another stimulus, what do you call it now? Stimulus stimulus package. They just haven't been able to get there yet. They can't agree on the line. So this might still change. So this is only good for now.
31st.
Yeah, so this is only good for now. So anything can still change between now and when the elections happen.
But
or the midterm,
I'm
whatever.
assuming if you get this in by October 31st, which is the deadline for it, and the know-it-alls in Washington make a change,
Yes.
they're still going to have to honor this.
Yes.
They're going to have to honor
Yes.
this.
So if you submit before, then they will honor.
Right.
Yeah, they will honor.
Right.
But here's something I heard. I'm hearing that they may actually do more. You know, this is from the grapevine. You know, that they might actually still do more. So I'm gonna still hold mine off until maybe close to. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying do that. You know, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not saying do that.
I hope they're printing. I hope the printing presses are running.
What does that mean?
That means they better be printing some money.
Well, I mean, we
You know, there's only so much money.
Yeah, but we gotta survive.
Every well runs dry.
Yeah, we gotta
sooner
survive.
or later.
Yeah, we gotta survive. All right, we're gonna begin to round up now. So, any questions, any calls, do you have anything for us, Austin, on that end?
We do have one question.
Yes.
Isn't a vehicle an operation cost?
Yes.
If it's used for business.
If it's used for business, though.
You got to prove it's used for business.
Yes. And there are a couple of ways to prove that it's used for business. If you do, like, let's say for example you do delivery. Number one. Let's say if you do delivery, you know, so that's going to be one.
There is a question there.
Yeah.
If it's used for business and pleasure, I'm not sure it can be qualified as a business operation.
Then use your mileage. Use your mileage. Just one quick question. Yeah, we're on the air, please. We're on the air. Can you hold for a second, please? All right, let's take this call. Thank you for calling the Guild with Dr. Joe. You're on the air. You have a question or a comment for us, sir? Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was listening to the explanation about the loan forgiveness,
Yes, sir.
and you mentioned that anyone or any company that receives 50,000 or less might start the chance of forgiveness, but you have to file a form.
Yes.
You have to
What
file.
in the case of those who receive like 2,000, 1,000 as their loan, how would they account that? Are they still responsible to file the form?
Yes. If you got anywhere from $1 up to $50,000, that would be forgiven with the new provisions. Now, the only thing they need though is that you have to fill out that form. It's just a 1-page, maybe a 2-page form, maybe just 2 pages. And essentially, what they're looking for, they want to first of all see that you actually do exist, you know, as a business or as a company. And number 2, they want to see what you spend the money on. And I think one thing they don't want to see there is that maybe you spend it on a vacation, or you spend it on a whether it's, or you bought a jewelry for your wife, or so that's essentially what they're looking for. And there are a lot of people who have done things like that, and that's not what the program is for. Does that make sense?
Yes. Second question. There are two different loans, right? One you received was the free money up to 10,000. Are you still going to file any form to show that you account that you use that for your employees or expenses?
Well, the EIDA grant, that's a little bit different. That was a grant that was given along with the SBA loan. So the grant as at the time it was given out was a grant. That's what it was. You know, so you get it. They didn't really care, nor did they ask that you tell them what you were going to use it for. Now, I think on this form though, they do want you to indicate if you got any such grants. And a part of the reason why they're asking that is that they're not quite sure how they're going to organize this at the end of the year, tax-wise. Whether they're going to charge tax on this free loan or how they're going to do it. They haven't quite decided on that yet. So that is why they ask you to put that in. And please, when you guys see any petition going out, so I want you guys to please support it, because that's when we were able to get this $50,000 to be forgiven, is because we have been bombarding Congress and the Senate with all sort of petition for them to help small businesses. So to answer your question about the EIDL grant, that's completely separate. So that loan, that one is free. You don't have to. All you have to do is just document that, because they're not sure whether they're going to tax that at the end of the year. Did I answer your question, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
How can one access the form?
Okay, this form, you can get it from SBA.com. So they have it on their website online, SBA.com.
Or probably your accountant carries it.
Or you can Google it. I don't know if maybe your accountant may have it if you have an accountant, or you can Google it. I think it's online. It's freely accessible, easily accessible.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you for coming in. Please like our channel on YouTube, and give us some comments, and also subscribe. Thank you so much.
One of our viewers just asked, is this legal advice or is this general information and education?
Okay, so we made a disclaimer when we started. Okay, so this is general information just to empower small businesses like me. So I am not an attorney. I am not your attorney.
Nor an accountant.
I am not an accountant. I am not your accountant. And also the same thing she said, not today. She is not the accountant. So if you need legal advice, I suggest that you call.
Go to a lawyer.
Yeah, call a lawyer, call an attorney. Legal aid is there. They will help you for free. So you have legal aid available. They will call you. And most attorneys will give you 1 hour free consultation. And I will also assume that a lot of accountants also will give you an hour free consultation. So it is good to get them. Yeah.
On things like this, you're better off to go to a CPA.
Yes. So get a CPA. Some CPA will actually give you a free consultation, So see where you're going, see where you are. And then don't forget, if you hire one, either attorney or you hire a CPA, accountant, financial people, their fees are tax deductible. So that's part of your operating expenses.
And not only that, like a CPA, what they tell you to do, and then when the forms they fill out, if they make a mistake, they're responsible.
So you really, really doing yourself a lot of good.
Do the SBA.com give you the forms for free?
Yes. If you go to SBA.com, the form is free. The form is like this, So this is and it's form 3508, S as in Sam. So it's 3508, S as in Sam. It's like this. You get it on SBA.com. All right, so thank you so much for joining in. Please go to our channel, like our show, like our page, put a comment in there, nice comment, And then we have our book coming out. Our book is coming out soon. Look out for it.
What is
you're
the
gonna
book?
look at it.
I want to know the name of the book.
The book is 6 Reasons Why We Think Donald Trump Will Win. 6 reasons. 6 reasons. And if you follow these 6 reasons, as a politician in this country, you will win every election. Guaranteed. So I say get the book. If you want to win your election, get the book, and you follow these 6 steps. Guaranteed you win the election. We're also on Spotify. We're on Google. Our podcast is on Spotify. It's on Google. So check us out there. And then on Monday, we're going to be doing the online release of the book. 7 p.m. Monday. That is October the 19th. And we waited this long because we didn't want to impact the election. But it's a powerful book. All right, thank you so much. See you next time. Instagram, 12 noon.
Dr.
Good.
Joe for the good.
The good with Dr. Joe. Different versions. See you then.